Um, well, hello everyone. This is my friend Donna Elliott here, and so we met each other through our health coaching school, where we were each other's lab partners, and we ended up connecting really well and working really well together. I think most of our lab times were off script because we were really just kind of playing and experimenting with the content, and she brings a lot of other experiences that I don't, and I think that we just really like each other, or at least I really liked you. And so, throughout this time of being together and getting to know each other, and noticing that a lot of our hearts and passions are in alignment, and given the circumstances of what we find ourselves in today, there's a lot of uncertainty and a lot of unknowns. And I think that when it comes to a lot of the unknowns, it kind of causes us to be very fearful. And we both wanted to kind of come together and offer a little bit of hope and encouragement. We wanted to give you some tangible things to help you understand whatever the topic is that we're talking about. Today, we're going to be talking about fear. And Sulana is going to be talking about how, just from a physical health perspective, how fear affects our bodies. And then I'll be taking it more on a spiritual level. And so I'm just going to hand it over to my sweet friend here and allow her to kind of share her wisdom and insight into the topic of fear.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. So let me just introduce myself. For those who don't know me, my name is Donna Elliott, and now health coach, life coach. But my background, I'm a personal trainer, and I dealt with fear a lot in my life, like everybody else. And I was dealing with a lot of fear lately. I am dealing with a lot of fear lately. And I would just pray to God and ask God, what shall I do right now? All this, it is happening in the world. It's not only in one country. It's everywhere. So I prayed, and God just tell me what to do right now. And I just felt in my heart that I have just to do something. There's not much that I can do because I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, so I cannot be actually physically in hospitals helping, people that it's unfortunately sick. But God gave us this platform, and that's the beauty. I actually connected with Lisa through our tuition, our health coach tuition. And as she mentioned before, we never actually had a chance to meet physically in person, but internet gave us an incredible way to really get to know each other and to unite forces right now, just to bring a positive energy to the world, and a positive message to everybody that cross our profiles. So that's basically how I invited Lisa to participate in this mission, just to bring some positivity to a moment of hardship, and a moment that we definitely need to elevate our energy, elevate our hearts, and just really be and hold on into something that it's bigger than what we believe we should focus in our lives. So yeah, the subject that we are going to tap into, it is fear, because fear have many ways that it can affect us. I'm going just to approach the physical part, and Lisa is just going to approach the spiritual part. Okay. And then how we are going to connect with our higher self and really go through this hardship. So I picked more the scientific side of this subject. I did some research, and I did find this article by the Neuroscience Education Institute. And this article was written in 2017, so it's very recent. And the title is The Effects of Chronic Fear and the Person's Health. Okay, why am I going to tap into this? Because the fear is an emotion, and sometimes we do have the control over our emotions. We just have to make a choice, right? So let's just figure out how fear actually it's just affecting our health. Fear is a feeling that is internal and it is conscious. Why it is internal? Because there's all of this chemical reactions that it's happening inside our body, and we are going to actually have a consequence of that. And it's conscious because you can understand what is going on once that you really become conscious, really understand that it's that you're what you're feeling, okay, at that moment. And fear, it is what we are feeling right now. We fear for our lives. We fear to have the scarcity of food. We fear to go outside. We fear for our family. So this is the emotion that is just predominant right now. But how you're going to just make sure the fear doesn't affect your health? Let's just tap into this right now. So fear starts in the brain. Most of us don't have to think about breathing, digesting our food, or making our heart beat. The autonomic nervous system takes care of these functions, and it is basically autopilot. It is divided of I'm just going to talk a little bit about this part. So fear in our body works in two ways. In the parasympathetic system, which is something that is just automatic. Our body reacts in a way that we start sweating, our body temperature, our core temperature start increasing. Why? Because we need blood supplied in our extremities. Because our body is basically preparing to run or to fight, right? So we have all of this. Do we have the control of that? No, that it's a natural mechanism. That is our natural defense mechanism that fears triggered in our brain, and our body responds. The brain sends the signal and our body responds. So what is the danger behind this? Now we don't have a supply of blood in our organs, and our organs need blood because blood carries oxygen, carries food to nourish our cells. So when we are in the chronic fear, when we are in that state of fear all the time, we are compromising how our organs it is being nourished. It's have the blood flow. So fear is a bad thing. No, this fear, it keeps us alive. So when we have to act, the fear, it's there to make us act, to take action. When we are in chronic fear, that is a problem, because then we are compromising our health in a very, sometimes in levels that we don't even know, because we don't actually have the conscious, we don't have the full screening of how our organs are functioning, but we know that we need to make sure that our organs, and specifically in this moment, our immune system, it is strong. Why? Because the immune system, it is basically what fights against any virus, bacteria. When we have an invader in our body, who is going to defend our body? Is our immune system. It is our white cells. So we need to make sure that we are not living the chronic fear in that state, that we identify the fear and we just try to bring ourselves back to a calm state. Okay. And how do we do that? Lisa, that she's going to tap in something that is just beautiful, and I think it is the most important way for you to just really just to release all the stress. And basically what we would definitely want to decrease the stress level that it's going on in our bodies, because when we're in stress, we have our brain, it's activating, sending the message to our glands to release adrenaline, to release cortisol, to release all of the hormones that is just basically ready to make us run, right? To fight or to flight. So the best way for us just to do this right now, it is just to one, to be really conscious about what is happening. Don't enter in a state of denial, you know. Don't put yourself in a risky situation. We had the example of people in the state of Florida. Everybody was going to the beach. Come on, guys. Everybody knows that it's something that we should not do. Why are you putting yourself and others in a risky situation, right? The other way that we can, now that we are in quarantine, that is a great moment for us to connect with our friends. Just give someone a call. Just do what Lisa and I are doing right now, and really try to create a better bond with your family. There's no way to go. You know, now it is a moment that you really have to connect and really tap into maybe issues that you have with your spouse or with your kids. But understand, respect everybody's space. Don't try to just like to be like the boss and just like I own the truth. Just go, slow, and just really try to understand each person's place and from where they're coming from. And the moment you have all of this, you're just calming down your emotions. That is a moment that you're really taking control of your stress levels. So now you don't have the cortisol being over released in your bloodstream, and now you're giving your chance not only the cortisol, the adrenaline. So now you're giving your body a chance to repair itself and to build a stronger immune system. So God forbid, if you get infected, you have a better chance to fight back, okay? So let me see the other ways. Okay, so the other way that fear really affect us, the chronic fear affect us, it is the spiritual, which I truly believe that it's what really distance us from our true self. So the chronic fear on spiritual health affect us with bitterness. We become more bitter. We don't respect others. We don't care about other people, and especially in this moment that we are living right now. We are living in anxiety, and we acknowledge so much the fear that we go to the store and we buy everything, and not acknowledge that there are other people that need the food too. And we start blaming God for all the things that it's happening. Instead of connecting with your higher self and with your higher purpose here in this planet, you're just really just becoming more bitter, just really staying away and not seeing the real solution ahead of you. And we start blaming God. It's like, if God exists, why all this is happening? When we have some responsibilities, and we should not deny our responsibilities, and we should just really connect with our higher self, and just really honor not only ourselves but God, right? I'm not going to talk too much about that part because Lisa has a beautiful message to share, and I'm just going to pass the ball. Lisa, now it's on you.
Yeah, thank you. And we are definitely going to make sure that we share that article, because it's really fascinating how, on a scientific level, I mean, first of all, God created our bodies this way. And so there's a lot of wisdom when he says in scripture over and over and over again, do not fear. Why? Because he is with us. And one verse in particular that I think is really applicable to our time right now can be found in 2 Timothy chapter 1, verses 7. Which reads, for God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Just like what Luana was saying, is that fear is a natural flight response. And so you need to understand that you're not wrong for being a little bit fearful right now. In fact, you can take it as an encouragement, because it's your body responding in the correct way when it's facing danger. And so it's telling you survive. However, what the scripture is talking about is that a spirit of fear is what God is not giving us. Is that what it is this negative emotional choice. Okay, it is a choice that we're remaining in this negative thought pattern that just believes that something bad is going to happen. It's kind of like this constant state of what if. Like, what's the, we're just constant, it's the thing that keeps us up at night. And it's kind of like we're just constantly feeling a little bit frazzled, a little discouraged, and we don't really know why. We just know something is not right. And in that moment of like, in that state, we're just kind of feeling like we don't really know what to do, so we just react. And the problem with that reactionary is like we're seeing it all over. A lot of people are reacting out of fear. That's where you get in the stockpiling and the hoarding and just kind of like the negativity that you see around us. People are simply reacting out of fear. And so other ways that fear can manifest itself is that, we start to see a lot of stress eating, maybe some binge drinking or substance abuse. We also see that in lacking in self-care. Maybe your self-hygiene isn't as well, maybe you haven't showered in a few days. Another way is that, depending on our personality, we're either kind of constantly on edge or we're just kind of a little bit more sullen. And instead of engaging in activities that bring us true rest, we tend to kind of disengage. Maybe we're on our devices, just scrolling, and we're not very present with the people around us. And so these are the things that God does not give us. He doesn't want us to live this way because it's never going to lead us towards thriving and growing. And so instead, he gives us three things. He gives us power, love, and a sound mind. Okay, so power. Okay, power is not control. Okay, as much as we want to have control, we have to admit we have no control. However, power is this ability to act and respond in such a way that leads to influence. Okay, and influence is both positive or negative, and you get to decide which one you get to be. And right now, our biggest influence is in our quarantine household. Okay, especially if you have children, because the thing is you have so much power to have influence over the mood and the environment of your household right now. And your children are watching you, and it really doesn't matter what you say. The thing is like they will always grab hold to the energy that you are, kind of providing in the household. And so they're watching you very closely. And our children are not yet resilient enough to understand what is going on around them. And you have a lot of power to be able to help them in this time of uncertainty. And in that process of helping others, we actually help ourselves as well. And even if you don't have children, we have a lot of influence and power in how we can affect other people in our lives. And honestly, social media is going to become kind of that avenue in which we really kind of grab hold to even more so now than we did before. But we have a lot of power to be able to become an influence that is encouraging, that we can bring laughter to one another. Or you could end up being that person that is constantly posting and sharing information that honestly, the energy behind that is a little negative. And so people are probably going to start unfollowing you because in a negative situation, they don't need more of that. And so you have to make a decision about what kind of influence do you want to have in a time such as this. And so love. Okay, first of all, God is love. Okay, and love casts out all fear. And when you think about love, really what it is it's a relationship. Okay, let's think about your marriage relationship. Okay, and I'm sure that a lot of our marriages are being tested at this time. And so when you think about the commitment that you made to your spouse to love them unconditionally, whether they deserve it or not, that is the commitment and the choice that we made to love them anyway, till death do us part. Okay, we love our children. I mean, they drive us crazy, but we love them because they're part of us. And we are all of us called to love one another. We can't control what other people do. We can't control the choices that other people make, but we can control the choice to love them anyway. And so because love always inspires hope. And I think all of us could use a little bit more hope in our world right now. And then a sound mind. Really, that's just the ability to see the bigger picture. Okay, it's being able to use discretion and self-control in our reactions so that all the information that's coming at us, we're able to kind of view it with a proper perspective. We're able to see the wisdom in between all of the noise, being able to weed out the things that we don't need to be paying attention to, and then to really hone in on the things that are important, things that we should be, information that we should retain and then share properly. And so all of these things, I know it's difficult to do. And so again, I just want to assure you that it's not wrong to have the emotion of fear, but we want to encourage you not to stay there, because from a physical level, it causes so much just inward torment. It's just, fear is very tormenting. And so what we want to encourage you is to, first of all, don't let fear or anxiety or worry control your life. Instead, guard your heart and focus more on the things that are pure and good and lovely in this world. And so, I mean, just like from a neural perspective, fear starts in our brains. And so the way that we can attack that is to be able to think about things that we can be grateful for, because there is always something that we can be grateful for. And gratitude gives us something else to focus on. And when we're focusing on the good, we're able to start to believe it. And we always act out of our beliefs. And so I just want to encourage you with that. I'm going to post another article that gives lots of different verses for things to kind of look over, and all the ways that we should just not be fearing. And so, and I know Luana and I just want you to know that, I mean, we're here for you, we're praying for you, and we're here to support and love on you in any way that we can. And so we just wanted to take this time to just thank you so much for listening, but also just know that, you know, it's a very uncertain time, but we get to decide how we respond and how we can be there for one another.
Exactly. Amen. Thank you for this beautiful message. And I just want to conclude too. It is, let's just be very responsible. Let's just really understand the protocols that we need to follow. It is not, it's just beautiful that for those that are extremely connected and trusting God, wonderful. But we have our parts to just just be responsible and understand that this is all going to be over very soon. But we have to be part of that transformation. This is a moment that we have to unite instead of divide. It's not a moment that we need to bring certain issues. It is definitely a moment that we just have to look the solution and just really hold on tight in that, in the positive side. If someone in your community needs help, if you know that someone got infected, just if you can just like do some grocery, just buy some stuff and just drop off to them. Things like that, very small little things, actions can really change everything, and change you and change your chemistry, and just really going just to bring you just like from the state of fear to a state of love. And this is what we want. And this is Lisa and I, we are just trying, let's just turn fear into love, and that's it. And just make sure you're taking care of your health. And we are going just to bring more positive messages. And I really hope you guys engage with us every time. And if you have any good information to share with us, we are here for that, and we are here to help too. Okay. Thank you, Lisa, so much for this incredible conversation. And until next.
All right, sounds good.
Okay. Bye-bye.